Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. Got a story about Bass Pro Shops. Now, Bass Pro Shops, I did a story a while back about them laying off a handful of people in their boat division, but it's actually getting worse, it looks like. This story is out of lakeexpo.com. It says Bass Pro slashes manufacturing jobs, citing inflation. Tracker Marine in Lebanon is hit hard. Now it says here, Bass Pro laid off around 100 workers at its manufacturing plants this year, primarily at Tracker Marine in Lebanon. One of the employees who was laid off said the firings came right out of the blue. Now, if they were watching this channel, they probably would have seen these things coming. I've done a handful of stories on Bass Pro Shops and other companies where I talk about signs to see where companies are starting to make drastic cuts. They eventually move into labor because why do they need the labor if they aren't selling the equipment that the labor's making, right? It says Bass Pro's Marine Division, White River Marine Group, manufactures and distributes Tracker, among others like Ranger and Tahoe. In April, the KY3 reported that 85 employees were let go at the Lebanon location because of a downturn in product sales that followed by another round of layoffs in August. As you're probably aware, and this is a quote from one of them, as you're probably aware, the current economic environment is very challenging for many sectors of the economy, including automotive, power sports, and agriculture, said the group in a statement. Inflationary pressures coupled with a dramatic increase in the interest rates are contributing to a downturn in the economy, creating stiff headwinds in the recreational boating industry with slowing consumer demand. We must lower production and regretfully must make the difficult decision to reduce our workforce. You know, I have to say really quickly, it was funny because I went into a Shields. I've been into Cabela's. I've done videos about that, Bass Pro Shops, because I talked about how an economy slows. One of the cycles, hospitality, vacation, things like that, sporting goods is one of those parts of the cycle where people stop spending money on, right? Eventually it ends, honestly, at cosmetics and alcohol. During a downturn, cosmetics and alcohol actually do fairly well. They actually really hold their sales because people want to feel good about themselves. So the ladies dress up more and the guys start drinking, I guess, but in there is sporting goods. Well, I've seen the downturn in Cabela's and in Bass Pro Shops, and I wanted to go into a Shields and interview them. I've tried to get a hold of I've left my info with their PR department, tried to talk to store managers, and nobody's ever called me back. Multiple times I wanted to get into a Shields and talk to them because they have a different type of selling, a different way that they sell, a different way they employ people. And I really wanted to interview because I really like that store. And I still have not been able to get a hold of them. So if anyone works at Shields at the PR department, let's go do an interview inside the building because those stores are pretty awesome. Now it says one of the employees who was let go said no one was expecting it. He said, I had heard that upper management knew and had to choose people, said the employee who asked to remain anonymous for this article. It was saddening to happen, and it wasn't just a few people they did it to, but people who had been there quite a long time. They even went as far as knocking some welders down to assembly, taking away their welder pay to lower the cost. Of approximately the 1,000 member workforce in the company's Ozark aluminum operators, 10% were laid off. Now, remember, I've said this before, years ago, it's getting serious when companies are laying off double digits. When you hit that 10% mark, whether it be people being laid off or the unemployment rate hitting that much, it's a very big deal for corporations and the perception of the average man and woman that are in the workforce, right? Says the decision to eliminate any position is not something we take lightly. Our employees are the best in the industry, and we have never wavered in their commitment to build superior products for our customers. That's from the WM Group. Now, it says they continue to say, if it continues to happen in the future, they're talking about this. They said, given the cyclical nature of the industry, we're hopeful we can recall the impacted workers as market pressures ease. But they said if it continues to happen in the future, I don't think the company will have much credibility with employees. The laid off employees said, I know several people who are currently working there and are thinking of getting other jobs or have already done so. Well, that's something that's very important. You, as the listener right now, needs to really do an evaluation of your workforce. How strong is your company? Have you been seeing sales slow down? Have you been seeing a lot more idle time? What's going on with the supply chain? How's that impacting your company as well? We've seen times where companies have had to lay off people in the past because they just simply couldn't get any product to make widgets. And that's another thing that can involve. But right now, it's a severe downturn in the economy. And what's crazy to me is that it's completely being falsified because of this election. If this severe of a downturn had happened 2 years into a presidential campaign, the truth would be out. They wouldn't be lying about all these numbers. It's just this, it is what it is. We've got to deal with it. But it's because we're so close to that election, that pivotal election, which in my opinion is the most important one, I think, in the history of our country right now, because our country is so severely falling apart. Now, here's something else I wanted to add. White River Marine Group said it remains focused on delivering affordable value with industry-leading performance, right? They said one of our prime motivations to keep our boats so affordable with payments as low as $5 to $10 per day. Now, I want you to think about this. Has been to keep our plants humming and our people employed. The company said in a statement, the facts is we continue to gain market share, blah, blah, blah. Okay. See how they focus on the $5 to $10 per day? See, that's the marketing stick that they've got to get people to buy their boats. Oh, yeah, no problem. Yeah, the boat's $800 a month, or it's $500 a month. Well, how much is the total price? Oh, don't worry about it. It's only $500 or $800 a month. See, they'll get you into a longer term loan, mess with some numbers, and get you into something as long as you can afford it per month. And that's where we're dying as a country. The consumer is shot because they got themselves into a bunch of, I can make $1,000 a month car payment. Oh, no problem. I can go and finance that vacation. These are the things that people actually do. And, a lot of people say they don't finance vacations, but how many people have let's say a timeshare? And out of the people, that's financing a vacation. Every year you got to cough up money. You got to pay a big old sum in the beginning. Then you got to cough up payments. Then you got management fees. You're financing vacations, right? And out of those, how many people don't even use their timeshare? Just so you know, if you want to get out of timeshare, there's attorneys that actually specialize in going and getting you out of your timeshare because of the pressures they put you under when you buy the timeshare. Just letting you know that. I don't know any personally, but this is where they're focused. Hey, if we can get them to think that all they're doing is paying pennies a day on their boat, even though they're not using it, they'll buy it, just like the vacations. This is where we're hurting. I hope you got something out of this. Companies are going to continue to lay people off more and more as the time goes on, and I believe in 2025 it's going to get really, really ugly. Hope you got something out of this. Ninja is out.